Well, hello, everybody. This is Scott Medina, and I am delighted to be having a little chat for the next short while here with my good friend David Coddington. And David asked if I might want to interview him about chanting, kirtan, musical projects, endeavors. And I think he asked me both because I like to lead ecstatic chant myself, and also lately I've been doing interviews with musicians, national, international musicians. So I have a little bit of experience with this recently, but this is my first interview with someone locally. So I'm delighted to get to chat today with David. Hi, my friend.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good today. Excited.
Yeah, that's the creative spirit. I can just feel it brimming in there. So we want to kind of introduce people watching this a little bit to you and your evolution. So maybe we start, because I know kirtan, ecstatic devotional chanting is a passion for you as well. So maybe we start there. And just let me know, how did you first get into this world of chanting?
Well, I believe it was 2010, and my life was a bit of a struggle. And I was introduced to the oneness community. And a good friend of mine, Deborah Lambert, was leading weekly meditations. And I had the experience of Diksha and this thing called the Moodle Mantra. Om Sachitananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Sumeta Shri Bhagavate Namaha. I won't do the translation right now, but it is a chant for liberation, for awakening. And it became a major part of my life, chanting this chant. And I even had an experience where I was practicing for an event, and I chanted it at least 108 times. And I had a pop. I had a really elevated experience, and this piqued my interest in Sanskrit and chant. And I wanted to know more about what was happening. So I decided to go to a kirtan event at Studio B, which is no longer there. It's now a Google office, where Kalyani, our local kirtan, passionate kirtan leader, was leading a kirtan, and I started going regularly. And after a few months, one of the band members exited, and I was invited to start playing the bass. And so that's how my experience began in earnest with kirtan.
And how did then you continue to evolve in the Boulder and Denver kirtan scene?
Well, I continued to play bass in this group for a few years, and then, interestingly, I was asked to sing only, and I embraced that opportunity. And for a few years, I was singing chant as a support singer in this group. And this is when I really began to see the power of the chant, whereas before I was busy being a musician. The singing of the chant totally shifted my experience. And I had the aha about chant. And it was really a huge blessing. A few years in, I had the opportunity to play with another friend in the community, Kali Martin, in her band called Offering Kirtan. And then a year or two in to that experience, Kali had to take leave from the band, and I decided at the time to pick up the ball and run with it, metaphorically. And so I continued to lead this group, and we changed the name to Leela Kirtan. And so that's how my experience grew and morphed and transformed. And I think you were actually the host or the initiator of a kirtan summit. I think it was 2014 or 2015.
We did about 9 of them actually over the years. Believe it or not, we got up to the 9th annual. I think was the last one we did. Yeah.
Well, I was honored and happy to become part of one of those. And I think it was 2014, if I remember correctly. So I got to have a greater experience of the Kirtan community at large. And thank you so much for that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kept growing from there.
Lovely. Well, yeah, that's what it was for. That's what Shanti and I developed that the Kirtan Summits for, was to bring together all the leaders and the different styles, and just have a huge celebration of devotional chant for a weekend, which was spectacular. I'm glad you got to jump in on that while they were still going. So how would you describe Leela Kirtan? What makes that unique?
Well, as many of the kirtans are here in the Boulder, Denver area, there are various musicians that come through in the experience, depending on who's available and what the situation might be from month to month. Well, that's kind of become my modus operandi in a way. I have a core group of players, and then various people come through depending on what's happening in their lives. And so it's been very much a situation where I also invite others to share their chant. So although I lead the group, I do not normally lead all the chants on the evening. I might lead 2 or 3, possibly 4, but some of the other members would do 2 chants or possibly more. And so it's sort of I'll call it a kirtan by committee. And this has sort of become my joy, my preferred experience, is to share the kirtan and let other people lead and support them musically. It's become this kirtan by committee, shared experience.
Yeah.
And it's lovely. It's really a beautiful thing, and it helps everybody develop a stronger sense of themselves as leaders, and sinking into the chant in a really lovely way.
Yeah, it's a beautiful expression to see how community can really be fostered and grown, not only with the audience as well, but even right up there on stage, with the different leaders and musicians. And now we are bringing in this new persona of Deep Sea. So maybe tell us a little bit about that and how that ties into Kirtan as well.
Sure. So one of my bandmates who has played and sung with me for 5 or 6 years now, Atulab, who many of you may know in the community, has inspired me in new ways. And one particular chant that we do, called Hari Om, has sort of gained a really powerful gravity, and it's so brought the soul and the expression out of Atulab. It's been a very powerful experience. And through Atulab, I've been fortunate to meet some other people, 2 people in Lakewood in particular, Adam Monash and his wife Cynthia Farley, who do something called kodams, and they actually chant in numbers. It's energetically somewhat similar to kirtan. And so I have, through Atulab, developed a relationship with Adam and Cynthia. And through Adam, I've been fortunate to meet a fellow named Daryl Swan, who is a producer in Los Angeles. Daryl had some curiosity about what we do with our music, so we produced a video in the summer of 2020, which was a montage of our Leela Kirtan experience. And following that, Daryl said, well, what else do you do? What else can you show us? So I took that as an opportunity to present a song called Dancing to Be Free. And for those of you in the community who know Lucy Wallace, this song was inspired by Lucy Wallace and her work in women's prisons to help these women rise above their situation through the power of dance. And the song was inspired by I guess I'll say my perception of what life is like for those who are oppressed and in difficult situations and discriminated against. And I was singing the song one day, and I shared it with Atuab, and through this alchemy, I realized that Atuab was the perfect voice for this song, Dancing to Be Free, and liberation from discrimination, and rising above these situations that these constructs that we place on each other in our world. And so Atuab has become the singer of this particular song, and it brings a power to this song that this is very unique. Atuab being African American, and we did a video production of this song and presented it to Daryl Swan in LA. He really liked it, and not too long after, he offered to produce an album for us. And in this process, I have taken on a new name, Deep Sea, Deepsi, which is sort of a play on words. The essence of it is it's the deep yes, saying yes to the deepest part of oneself. So it's my moniker, but I also see every one of us as a deep sea, embracing that deepest aspect of ourselves to see how far we can go into the true essence of ourselves, which is in a way very very tied to the intent and the power of kirtan, this chant in Sanskrit that has a transformative quality to move us into places we hadn't imagined, even when we're not aware of it. Simply saying Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram over and over and over again has a transformative vibrational quality. And so this music that we are going to be recording in Los Angeles is deeply inspired by kirtan and the spirit of kirtan, though it is mostly in English with some kirtan influences.
Mm-hmm. And how can the local community help support this project?
I'm so glad you asked. Well, I am about to launch a Gofundme campaign, a crowdfunding campaign, and you can see the link below to help us with traveling expenses, studio expenses, paying the musicians, and covering our production expenses as well. To date, I have been doing most of the executive production on everything that we've put out there, and I'd say it's a fair time to ask for some help. So it's all greatly appreciated. And Scott, I just want to say thank you so much for being a fabulous inspiration and leader in our kirtan community here in Boulder and Denver. And it's really been a pleasure to be at your kirtans, be a witness to your experience, and be a beneficiary of your inspiration and your support.
Oh, thanks, David. It's great for me to see, because I just started leading kirtan over 20 years ago, because at that time no one else was doing it around here. I knew the power of it. I loved doing it, and that was even before Studio B had started up, and so
right.
that's why I started leading out of necessity, really. And so it's a joy to see so many other people leading now. That's why we did the Kirtan Summits over the years, because there were so many leaders coming to bring them all together. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And now this continues. And having done our own Sumantra CD project many years ago, which you kindly sang on at the time, that was a joy for me. I do know the process of crowdfunding and having that support is huge. It was really big for us to get that support at that time. And so I really hope everyone listening out there will take to heart, all the time and energy that David puts into this, and all of the Leela Kirtan members, but really as this butterfly herder that Deep Sea is, to realize his own musical vision, but also extend it out to a wider community is a beautiful thing. And of course, you don't get the returns really in monetary at all. That's not why any of us do it, and that doesn't usually show up. So this is a chance for the community to really support the music to get out more. It isn't about anyone profiting off this, because that doesn't really happen here. It's really just to hopefully get more toward breaking even financially, but also have that community buy-in, which I think is just a big part of what Lila Kirtan has always been, and hopefully it will be with Deep Sea as well, because as you said, even though it's a personal moniker, it extends to all of us, our Deep Sea. And so by contributing even $5 or $50 or whatever someone's able to do, that helps us to swim in that deep sea as well on a personal level, and be invested and enjoy the fruits of that outcome even more. So I wish you much success on this, and I encourage everyone who's watched this far that obviously you're invested already enough. This speaks to you in some way. So please do contribute to Deep Sea's fund in this way, and the fruits will become evident for all of us through that.
Thank you so much, Scott. You really put it beautifully. This, we don't often see any significant financial return, but the payback is so powerful and strong in our community, and the love and the high intentions and the transformative nature of the chant, and how it reflects in us and all the beloveds who are participating in our community. So Jai Mahalakshmi to all the abundance that may flow our way.
Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Thank you, my friend. Great to talk with you.
Yes, thank you.